This is an upper body strength day designed for your follicular phase. This is the earliest phase in your cycle right after the heaviest days of your bleed, so usually on or around days 3 or 4. This is when your hormones have sort of lowered to their baseline, we have improved recovery times, and generally improved performance indicators overall. So it's a great time to put in the heavy strength sessions that are going to help move you toward your body composition and fitness goals. So in this workout, I recommend using a challenging weight. We are in the 8 rep range for these exercises in the upper body. So something that is going to provide that little bit of struggle in the last few reps. So reps 6, 7, 8, you're really struggling to get quality reps, and you only have 1, 2, maybe 3 reps in reserve at the end of each set. The rep range that's prescribed, like I said, is 8. However, for the guided video, we'll be working to intervals simply to create a more consistent structure for you to follow. So we'll be working 40 seconds of work with 20 seconds of rest. If in that 40 seconds you get your 8 reps before the 40 seconds is up, please feel free to stop at that 8 rep range. Otherwise, you can keep going through the 40 seconds, and we'll build in the guided videos from that 40-second interval in the next week in your performance phase. So this week is to prime your body to get you ready for that higher level performance in the upcoming week. In today's workout, we have 3 sets of work. The first set has 3 exercises, the second has 2, and the third has 2 exercises. We're completing each of those sets in 4 rounds each. So we have 4 rounds through of each set. There is a movement tutorial for this workout that guides you through a detailed breakdown of each exercise, along with some form cues and progressions or ways to scale as appropriate. So if this is a new workout to you, just make sure that you're tuning into that movement tutorial ahead of time. It's also a great way to watch that ahead of time and then take this workout to a gym or just work at your own pace if you're wanting to use that prescribed rep range. We also have a finisher in this workout. So at the end of the core portion of our session, we'll move into a finisher. This one is pretty quick. We are breaking down a dumbbell burpee. So we are breaking down the different components of that movement pattern to help us build toward safe and effective performance in that somewhat challenging movement pattern with weights. So let's go ahead and get started with our warm-up. This is a very quick warm-up to prepare the upper body for strength training. So we'll work through 10 different warming exercises, each for 30 seconds, just to get both your heart rate slightly elevated to generate some heat and prepare the arms, shoulders, back, and chest to work. So I'll get our timer started. We will begin in about 10 seconds. We'll be starting with a simple cat and cow. So you can come into your tabletop position, shoulders over the wrist, hips over the knees. Start to knit the low ribs and hip points together, and then we'll begin. So we soften the belly on the inhale, send your gaze up, and then as you exhale, round through the back, draw the belly to spine, chin to chest, let your head hang heavy. Inhale, extend the spine, shine your sitting bones back, ripple up bone by bone, and then exhale, round in. So just really working through the different spaces in the spine here, looking for any points that feel a little bit stuck and creating some mobility. After this, we'll be tucking the toes, coming into bear plank. As you're ready, lift your knees off the mat. And here we're just going to alternate, taking one arm forward, bring the elbow to the side, reach it forward, and back down. The goal here is to keep the hips and shoulders square so that you're really toning the belly, recruiting the abdominals, and then allowing the shoulders and the arms to work to stabilize here. We've got about 5 more seconds, and then we're shifting into a downward dog. As you're ready, come into downward dog. From here, we'll stay just a moment in downward dog and then roll forward, come to plank pose. Let your knees touch down, push up, bring your chest to the earth. Slowly come back up through plank and then back to downward dog. You can bend the knees, get a little bit of a spring, come forward, knees touch down, push up and back up to downward dog. Last one like this, roll forward, let your knees touch down, push up, and then we're coming right back up. From downward dog here now, we're turning to the side. Step one foot behind, pull your elbow behind you like you're loading a bow and arrow, and then switch, roll to the other side. Step the top foot behind, pull that elbow. So it's wild thing, just alternating sides with that slow arm pull. Rotating here, coming onto the other side, almost there in this round, and then we'll slowly come back through downward dog. Start to walk your hands toward your feet, deep bend in the knees, so create a lot of space there. Take opposite elbows, ragdoll. Allow the torso to twist side to side. Let the head and neck be heavy. Create some space in the upper back here so you feel that gentle pull around the shoulder blades. About 10 more seconds. Just enjoying this forward bend. And then we're going to start to rotate. So as you're ready, come to one side. Keep the elbow clasp. Rotate the torso. Come all the way back down. Bend the knees deeply. And then switch directions. So these nice wide circles coming through a side bend. Keeping that clasp in the elbows to stretch the shoulder. Come all the way around and back down. Switch directions. We're here just a few more seconds in these torso circles. And then slowly come up, keep the clasp in the elbows, and then we'll enjoy a nice side bend. So lift up and out of the pelvis and over to the side. Keep that clasp stretching in the armpit, all the way along the side body. Really root down through that opposite foot and come up through center to the other side. Nice deep side bend here. Really root down evenly through both feet. See if you can press your elbows back behind you. Come up through center, and then we'll slowly release the arms to T. Here we're just crisscrossing the arms so you can cross, maybe reach for your shoulder blades, and then open nice and wide. Stretch the chest without flaring the low ribs. Cross, grab your shoulder blades, and then open, stretch across the chest. Just switching sides, switching the cross each time. Opening nice and wide, so look for that integration in the low belly so you're not flaring the low ribs. We're lifting low ribs and hip points toward each other. Last one like this, and then we'll take eagle arms. So we wrap one arm under, one arm over. We wrap elbows, forearms, and wrists, and then press the palms. And then really hug the elbows in together. Try to broaden the inner shoulders away from each other. And then we're slowly going to twist to one side. So keep the hips square to the front and twist. We'll release those arms out to T. So you've got a T twist here. Press your palms away. And then we'll slowly come back through center, switch sides. So take the opposite arm under, opposite arm over into eagle arms. Again, hug the elbows, the forearms, the palms, and then spread the inner shoulders apart. And then we twist to the other side, to the left here. Keep the hips square. Release your arms to T. Press the palms in opposite directions. So we're really starting to wake up the intercostal muscles around the rib cage. And then we'll come back through center. We'll find opposite elbows once again overhead. And from here, we're simply going to hip hinge and then reach behind you. Take the opposite elbows and hip hinge again. Reach overhead, find your elbows, hip hinge, and come up. We'll be here just a few more seconds. This is our last warming exercise. We're really just preparing the body for that upper body strength work. Last 10 seconds. Reach it forward and come up. So we're waking up the posterior chain here, all the muscles in the spine, and we are done. You might give a few shoulder circles, and just kind of finishing up this warm up. You are ready for your upper body strength work now. Now that you're warmed up, we are ready to go. We are going to jump right into this workout in about 20 seconds. Like I said, we're using interval timers for today to keep the container of the workout. What we're aiming for is 8 reps in each working interval. Our first set of work uses a single heavy dumbbell, so something that's going to challenge the upper body. And we're starting with a bicep curl, press overhead to tricep extension. So lift those low ribs to hip points and let's begin. We lift it up, squeeze the biceps, take it overhead, and tricep extension. You can keep track of your reps if you like. That's 1. Squeeze the biceps, press it overhead, squeeze the backs of the arms to straighten. Make sure your torso is staying nice and still the entire time. It's your anchor, it's your stabilizer. You're not swinging back and forth. You're also keeping the lower back neutral, so not overarching there in the spine. Let's come down. These are quick reps. We've got a longer range of motion as we're combining 3 different movement patterns here, so don't sweat it if you don't quite hit those 8 reps, and rest. I think I got about 6 or so there, so you can pick up the pace to hit your 8 reps in the next round, or just go with that 40-second interval. We're coming to our front press with a halo next. So we start with the weight at the chest, we squeeze the ends of the dumbbell and begin. We press it out, come back, and wrap it around the body. Keep your head nice and neutral so you're not bending forward, but instead you're using the mobility in the shoulders to make that halo happen. So the head stays nice and upright, and you're just using that full range of motion in the shoulders here. That was 4. We're gonna make it for the 8 reps this time. There's 5. Wrap it around, slow and smooth is fast. We got this. Breathe the entire way through, exhaling on the exertion. Last one, and rest. Our next movement pattern, you can set your weight down in between if you wish, is a front raise to a rotation. I'm going to go down to my medium set here. So you can hold the dumbbell either lengthwise or straight up and down. And we are lifting it to shoulder height, taking it up and rotating. This one, you'll feel your core right away. We lift it up and rotate. Don't let your hips come along for the ride. Keep the low ribs and hip points knitting toward each other as you come into that rotation. You're keeping the weight at shoulder height, breathing through that twist. Try not to flare the low ribs or puff the belly here. Back through center and down. Last 2 here. And come through. That's 8 reps total. And back through center. Set it down. Coming back to our bicep curl to press with a tricep extension. Let's aim for those 8 reps this time. We have quicker recovery in this phase of the cycle, so we're moving more quickly from exercise to exercise. We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Squeeze the biceps, press it overhead, and extend. Take it down the way you came in. Reach it up, overhead, and extend. Make sure as you take that weight overhead that you're not arching the low back, not flaring the low ribs, but keeping it isolated in the upper body. This one works the arms and shoulders all the way, start to finish. Press it overhead, squeeze the backs of the arms, keep the elbows hugging into the midline the whole time. So there might be a tendency at the top for those elbows to wing out, but keep them magnetized toward each other in the center, and rest. Set that weight down in between, and we're getting ready for that front press to a halo. You can grab your weight. You'll stay with the weight at the chest here, squeezing both ends, and let's begin. We press it out and back. Take it all the way around, out and back. So really squeeze the ends of the dumbbell as you come through that front press, and you'll feel the belly engage. You'll feel the shoulders working to stabilize that load as you take it away from the body. We got this. Wrap it around. Keep your head and neck nice and neutral, like you're trying really hard not to accommodate that weight, but the weight has to accommodate the position of your head by using the mobility in your shoulders. Last one here, all the way around. Excellent job, and rest. I'm going to switch to my lighter weight for the rotation component here. If it's too much to take the weight all the way out, you can go through the front raise and then bring the weight to chest to move through the rotation if it's creating any strain in the back or the shoulders. Let's begin. Take it up, rotate. Keep your hips really aiming towards the front so they stay square and stable. That's your anchor point, and then you rotate about that axis. This is the follicular phase, so our low hormone performance window where we're taking advantage of improved performance to really move the needle in our workouts. What that means is you'll feel the intensity rising up throughout this workout. It's upper body. Sometimes it's hard to hit those high intensities in upper body, but we're doing it here. And rest. Make sure you're breathing through the entire time to maximize the efficiency of every rep. Coming back, we're in round 3 now of this set. Coming back to the heavy dumbbell as you're ready. We'll go in 3, 2, 1 with that curl, press, and extend. Keep that force of the hip points drawing up to the low ribs. That'll help stabilize the movement as you take the weight overhead. Let your shoulders stay nice and relaxed so you have that easy, steady space in the neck and shoulders. And we're just moving the arms, moving that load at a distance overhead. Here we go. Squeeze the backs of the arms. You got this. We've got just 5 more seconds here. Take it overhead, quality reps, even as the pace increases, and rest. Set it down. Next, front press to a halo. We're coming into our 3rd round here. Just 1 more to go after this before we switch exercises. And we'll go in 3, 2, 1. Press it out and away and wrap it around. Many of the exercises in this workout employ the push movement pattern. So we are pushing weight from close to the body and taking it further away at a distance. So we use that forceful exhale on the push to brace the belly, to allow you to move safely and effectively. 10 more seconds here. I know you're feeling it in the shoulders and the arms especially. 3, 2, and 1. Set that weight down. Switch to your medium or lighter weight if you wish. We're coming into our rotation next. Going in about 10 seconds, so roll out the shoulders. Really feel that bracing in the low belly. It's a slight curl of the tail toward the inner heels. We'll go in 2, 1. Lift it up. Rotate to the side. Come back to center and down. Rotate it up to the side and back down. So 8 reps. These are short sets, but they are packed with power. So you're working heavier rep ranges, heavier weight ranges with smaller muscle groups. So you'll feel that intensity rise pretty quickly and back down. Just over 5 more seconds left. Can you get a few more reps in? Raise it up and rotate. Rest, come back down. We are in our final round of these 3 exercises, and then we're switching. It's a quick switch to our Arnold press at the end of this set. So I'll guide you through when the time comes. We're ready for that bicep curl, press to tricep extension. Let's begin. Take it up, press, and extend. I know that weight's getting heavy, especially in this final round, even with the lower rep range. We're working towards hypertrophy here. So that's where we are building new muscle tissue, either through the microscopic damage that happens when we push through a heavy stimulus like resistance, or metabolic fatigue. So we're doing a little bit of both here. We're working a quicker pace with that heavier load. So we are optimizing our training for hypertrophy, rest, for building new muscle tissue. Shake it out. Coming next into that front press with a halo. Last round of this exercise, and we have one more in this set. We'll get ready to go in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Brace the belly, press it out, bring it in and around. Nice and quick, but efficient. Efficient and with expert form from start to finish. So let that be your focus, even as you take on these quicker movement patterns. This is your baseline weight and reps for this workout that we will build on in the next few phases before we hit our deload week. So we have this performance arc that mirrors what's happening in your cycle. It mirrors the arc of your hormones and rest. Set that weight down. I'm going to grab my lighter weight here for the rotation. So this is climbing to the inflection point of the arc. So we are building in this first week of the cycle, this follicular phase. 3, 2, and 1. Raise it up and rotate to the side. Come back down and through center. Bring it up, rotate. Feel shoulders, chest, belly working to stabilize this position and help you move efficiently and safely. This is one where just a little bit of weight with that rotational component, you are likely to feel a little bit of communication from your obliques tomorrow. Last 5 seconds here. Take it up, rotate, back through center. Switching to the Arnold press next. Again, it's a very quick transition. This one, we are working through the superset with both dumbbells. We'll start with the weight at the chest and rotate it out, up, and around. In this one, if it gets heavy, you can switch to single arm, single-sided work. Here we go. Take it up and overhead. These can slow down a little bit. We are doubling the weight now, and we're taking it overhead. So I want you to focus on keeping the lower back neutral. So you can see my back doesn't move, doesn't arc as I take the weight overhead. We're relying on the mobility in the shoulders to create that range of motion. I definitely am feeling those last few reps, the struggle there. We've got a few more seconds. Take it overhead. Again, if you hit your 8 reps, you can rest for the remainder of the interval and set it down. Next exercise is an upright row. With this one, make sure you're not dipping the shoulders forward. You're keeping them nice and open and taking the weight slightly out in front of you. Again, if you hit your 8 reps before the 40 seconds is up, you can rest and recover for the remainder of that interval. You always have the option, let's begin, of going to single-sided as well. So that's 1. There's 2. These are shorter reps because we're moving across less distance. That's 5. Here's 6. So definitely going to hit the 8 reps before that 40 seconds is up. But let me tell you, I am not mad about it. And you can rest if you've hit your 8 reps or continue until you hit that point. Rotate the shoulders and we're coming back to the Arnold press. So this is just 2 exercises back to back. I went up in weight for this strength workout, sort of in the progression of my personal progression. And this is where the challenge is. So I'm hitting those boundaries and working to grow past them. So let's begin in 2, 1, Arnold press. Take it around and up, back down. You can be much faster or slower than I am. Just aim to get your 8 reps within that 40-second interval. Keep lifting your hip bones toward your low ribs. That's 4. Feel the full rotation, that beautiful range of motion in your shoulders. That's 5. Here's 6, last 2, and last 1. You still have a few more seconds in this interval. If you're working toward your 8 reps still, stay with it and rest. Roll out the shoulders. Upright row is next. We are in our second of 4 rounds. This is where the work starts to accumulate. We feel that volume building. Let's go in 3, 2, 1. Upright row. Let's take it up and slowly back down. Let these be nice and focused, slow and smooth. There's 3. Shoulders are wide and broadening apart. You've got external rotation and we're bracing the belly. So we're not tucking or over squeezing the glutes, but we have that stabilizing force by moving the tailbone ever so slightly toward the inner heels to neutralize the position of the pelvis. That'll help protect your lower back by creating some space there. And rest. And you've got a few more seconds, but if you hit your 8 reps, you can rest. So kind of doing a little bit of both in today's workout where we have the prescribed reps, but also working to the intervals. And that's just to keep me honest with the time so that we can keep our workouts short and sweet to get you on your way quickly. Coming into Arnold press. 3rd round. Here we go. Take it out and around. Back to center. So you have time under tension the entire way through, because even as you bring those weights to the chest, you have some load. You'll feel some tension. This is 4. Be mindful not to flare the low ribs, especially as it gets heavy and hard. Last 3. Breathe as you press the weight overhead. Last 2. This is where that struggle is. This is where you grow. And 1. I'm right there with you. Let's rest. Coming into upright row next, and then we have just 1 round through. 1 more round to complete our 4 sets. So we're circling the shoulders, resetting here, coming into the upright row. In about 5 seconds, get your weights ready. Roll the shoulders back, lift the hip points to low ribs. Let's begin. Take it up. That's 1. Up and extend all the way. That's 2. Up. That's 3. So you feel the smaller muscle groups in the chest and shoulders working. Breathe as you pull up. So this is one of the pull movements inside our push workout. We're just balancing some of those overhead presses that we've been enjoying so far. Last one here. You still have about 5 seconds left in the interval to get your 8 reps if you're still working. And we rest. Shake it out. So you should be feeling that little bit of struggle in the last few reps. That is our hypertrophy range, where we are kind of breaking, making those microscopic tears in the muscle tissue so that they can repair and come back stronger. 2, 1, Arnold press. Take it overhead. That's 1. Back to center. Here's 2. You got it. Stay with me. 3. Keep the torso steady and strong, nice and stable the whole way through. As you come to the overhead position, see if you can get your arms behind your head or at least aligned with your ears. Get that full range of motion. Last 3. Here's 2 and 1 more rep. You got it. Take that overhead all the way and rest. Set your weight down very carefully, very mindfully. We want to take care in between our sets that we're not dropping the weights or pulling on the muscles. We want to have that steady and focused effort even in the in-between periods. Grab your weight. We'll go in 2, 1. Last round of upright row. That's 1. Bring it up. I know you're feeling it. I'm hitting that struggle point a little bit early with this heavier weight range. This is where the work is in these last rounds, last reps. That's 5 and 6. Stay steady. You got it. Take extra pause in between if you need to. Last one here. Take it up and finish out in the last 5 seconds, or you can rest. Our final set is going to be a burner. It's a strict press, so strict shoulder press straight overhead, and then we're going right into a push press. So the push press, you get a little bend in the knee, and then you take the weight overhead. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Brace the belly, breathe it out. 1. Take it down to the shoulders. 2. You've got that strong core stabilizing. 3. Breathe in and forceful exhale. We got this. Here's 5. Take it up. And 6. So lower body completely still through this round. Last one here. Gather your strength and press it up. You can always alternate sides if you need to, which I am definitely going to need before this round is done. You can finish out your 8 reps or come into your rest. So the next round, we'll give a little bit of power from the legs. So it's a little bend and push to get under the weight and take it overhead. We're doing these back to back. It's the same exercise, just a slightly different loading pattern. So you should feel those shoulders by the end of 4 sets. Here we go in 2, 1. So it's a tiny bend and take it overhead. Bend and extend. You can make these continuous where you're joining the reps together, or come back to center, bend and extend. So you take the route that feels best in your body. These will be quicker because you have that power from the lower body. There's 7 and 8. So you still have 15 seconds to finish out this set. Or if you've hit your 8 reps, you're resting with me. So we've got about 3 more seconds here, and then we're starting our 20-second rest. So circle out the shoulders. We have 3 more rounds of that killer strict press to push press. So again, if you need to, if you're finding that you're arching your back or you're having to sort of wiggle to get the weight up, switch to single arm and just make a note in your workout journal for that modification. There's 1, strict press. There's 2, taking it overhead. Here's 3, stay with me. 4, we've got 4 more, count them back. 4, down and up, straight up. 3, last 2. We've got 15 seconds to get these 2 reps. Press it overhead. Come down, last 1. You got it, stay strong. Feel that you're getting close to that point of fatigue in the working muscles and rest. So you're getting close to that failure point. If you hit your failure point, that is the end of that set for you. I want you to set your weights down and rest for the remainder of the interval. Coming into our push press next. So we start with the weight in the front position. It's a tiny bend and reach overhead. That's 1. There's 2. 3. You got it. Find the power from the legs to take that weight overhead. Here's 5. Try not to arch the lower back. 6, 7, and 8. So, like I said, those will be quick, but chances are you will benefit from the extra recovery in the strict press, the next round of strict press. So we've got about 10 more seconds of this working interval and then a full 20 seconds of rest. So stretch it out, roll out the shoulders, and get ready. So getting your mindset ready for what happens when you start to hit that point of fatigue. You can switch to single-sided or drop the weight altogether. We're going in just over 5 seconds here. Grab your weights. And 3, 2, 1. This is round 3, strict press. Take it overhead and back down. Brace the belly. Let this be some bonus core work to stabilize that movement. Here's 3. Come down. If you switch to single-sided, just take note of which rep you had to change at. So it can be a note in your phone. It can be a note in your workout journal. So that was 4. I'm switching to single-sided. There's 5. Come down. 6, breathing through right with you. 2 more. We've got 5 more seconds. Finish strong. And rest. Set that weight down. This is the hypertrophy zone, so you should be feeling that point where you can't quite get one more quality rep, or maybe you only have 1 to 2 reps in reserve at the end of the set. It's a great place to be. It tells you you're in the right weight range for this prescribed rep scheme. Here we go. 8 reps push press. Take it down and up, down and up. That's 2. Again, these are quicker, so get ready for a longer rest period. You have earned it. 6, 7, and 8. Coming down. We have just one more round after this of our strict press to the push press. So let's stay strong. Just a little bit more work left. Circle the shoulders, cross the arms. We've got just over 20 seconds of rest coming at us. This will be the end of the main body of our workout, and then we'll have a completely optional finisher to close out. This is that time in the cycle where we can get away with a little bit more in terms of exertion and conditioning. Let's go into our strict press. Last round here. Take it up. That's 1. And down. Here we go. That's 2. Remember, you have in your back pocket that switch to single reps. That's 3. Take it overhead. That's 4. Down, breathe in. Use that forceful exhale. That's 5. I'm going to take it to single-sided. 6 and down. Here's 7 and down. Then together. 8 and come down. You've got a few more seconds in this set if you're still finishing up, and then we rest. So shake it out, get ready for the push press to knock these last few reps out. Breathe in, nice and steady, and slow exhales. When you're ready, grab your weight. We are going in 3, 2, 1. Push press. Take it down and up. That's 1 and 2. These are quick reps. 3. Keep your back stable and strong. 4, 5, 6. You got it. 7 and 8. You can finish out your reps if you're still working, or finish up with me. Set your weights off to the side. Give a big circle in the arms. Again, don't sweat it. If you're still finishing up this round, you've got about 10 more seconds in that working interval. Slow, steady breaths here. 2 and 1. So we have a quick rest period, and like I mentioned, we're coming into that optional finisher next. So if you want to join me, stay tuned. If you're wanting to skip right into cool down mode, if you feel complete with this workout, you can use the timestamps in the description of this video below to skip right ahead into your cool down. So we'll head into the finisher now. You have chosen to stick it out with me for just a few more minutes in this finisher. So for your finisher, you're going to grab your set of dumbbells, and we are breaking down the components of a weighted burpee. So we're going to start with push-ups, dumbbell push-ups. Then we're moving into sprawls, where we're hopping from plank to a squat position. And then we are moving from that dumbbell deadlift, curl to press. So I'll walk you through one time, and then once we get started, we'll be moving fairly quickly. We're going to break down each component in a pyramid fashion. So we'll do 5 of each element, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll close with continuous reps of the full movement pattern where we will put it all together. So we're starting with our dumbbell push-up. So you can have either knees up or knees down. If your knees are up, make sure your spine is nice and neutral. You're lifting pubic bone towards the navel, hip bones toward the low ribs. You're going to keep this nice and close together. Arms are squeezing into the sides, down and up. It's down and up. If your knees are down, just make sure you're not in tabletop. You're in that half plank, down and up. After that workout, you will likely see me with my knees down for this finisher. The next part of the movement, so we'll do 5 of those push-ups, and then we have the sprawl where we're coming into that loaded position and back to plank. Forward and back. We'll do 5 of those. And then from that loaded position, we will come into the dumbbell deadlift, curl to press, and back down. Dumbbell deadlift, curl to press. We'll do 5 of those. So we have 5, then 4, all the way to 1, and then we'll do 1 of each in a continuous pattern 5 times. So we'll get 5 full reps of putting it all together. So I hope you're with me. You can break it down, take it as slowly as you need. We'll be working through this as a finisher, so we're looking to finish it in as little time as possible with expert form. So quality reps all the way through. Get your dumbbells into position. And we'll start with our push-ups. So you can take your feet back. You can have the knees up or knees down. I'm just going to start with my knees down. That's where I'm feeling after that upper body workout. Let's begin now. 5 push-ups. Take it down. Push it up. Squeeze. Keep the belly strong. That's 2. Here's 3 and 4 and 5. Create a little bit of space. Come into plank. You're jumping forward and back 5 times. Hop it forward. That's 1. Forward, 2, 3, 4, create that speed, and 5. Now, ground to overhead. We take it up, curl to press. That's 1. Back down. Here's 2, and down. Find that deadlift position. 3, down, sink it back. 4, and come up for 5. We're back to our push-ups next. Step it back, knees up or knees down, 4 push-ups. Here we go. This is our 4 rep round. 2, breathe. 3, this will build in intensity pretty quickly. Come to plank, hop it forward and back 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take it overhead, ground to overhead. Here we go. That's 1. Tap the ground with the dumbbells. It's like a deadlift. 2, drive through the heels. Here's 3. Those presses, no joke after our workout. And 4. 3 rep round now. Come into your push-ups, knees up or down. Let's get 3 reps. Here we go. Take it down. That's 1. Down and up. That's 2. Down and up. There's 3. Come into your sprawls or your plank hops. Here we go. 3 rounds. Forward and back. Nice and quick if you can. That's 3. Then ground to overhead. So it's the dumbbell deadlift to overhead. That's 1. Down and up. That's 2. Keep the belly drawing in nice and strong. That's 3. 2 rep round. Come into your push-up. Stay with me. We're almost there. 1 and 2. Sprawls, hop it forward. 1 and 2. Ground to overhead. 1. Breathe. 2. You got it. This is our single rep round. 1 of each exercise. So push up, hop up, jump forward, ground to overhead, and come back down. You can set the weights down for a moment. We are going to put it all together for 5 complete, perfect reps. So come down when you're ready into that push-up position, and let's begin. Take it back, push up, hop the feet forward, ground to overhead. That's 1 rep. Hop it back, push up, hop the feet forward, ground to overhead. That's 2, just 3 more. We got this. Quality reps. Down and up. I know your arms are tired. I know you're breathing heavy. 3. Last 2 here. Quality reps. Start to finish. Finish strong with some power. Last rep coming at you. Here we go. Take it down and all the way up. Jump forward, ground to overhead. And set those weights down mindfully, carefully, and then try not to stop, not to come to completely still right away. So from that high intensity, we want to guide the body down. So side lunges here, maybe adding a bit of rotation with the arms as you transition from high intensity effort and back to more of a baseline. We want to be in a more neutral place before we come into our cool down. Now we'll come into step out squats just to guide the body back down. So imagine you're taking your breath, your body by the hand, and you're walking it back down the hill from that super high intensity to something where you're breathing more naturally, you're not gasping for air. You should find in the follicular phase that comes a little more quickly. Upright twist here. Breathing all the way. Deep inhales and slow exhales. So the breath is boss. When you feel it come down back to that neutral place, you can carry on a conversation, breathe a little more easily, then you know you're ready to step into your cool down. So if you're in that place, and you'll join me next. If you're still very elevated after that finisher, stay with this dynamic movement until you can breathe nice and easy. But for now, we will head into our cool down. You have just wrapped up your upper body strength work, and now it is time to cool down. If you find that your heart rate is still very, very elevated, you might enjoy some dynamic movement to start, just to guide your breath back down to a more neutral place before we come into cool down mode. Otherwise, we will start our cool down in just about 10 seconds. So we'll take the feet nice and wide, maybe roll out the shoulders, and then we're simply going to reach opposite arms and tap the toes here. So again, this opening pattern of our cool down, this first one, is really just to help guide the body back down. So if you were coming from high intensity or maybe a quicker pace to finish out your workout, this can help kind of create that smooth transition from high to low. We're switching after this to a nice deep side bend in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So take the arms up and overhead, nice deep side bend. So one hand comes to the bottom hip. We reach the opposite arm up and over. See if you can spin that top shoulder open and reach. And then we'll switch sides. So bring the opposite hand to hip, reach the fingertips up and over. Rotate that top shoulder behind and find that nice deep stretch in the sides of the waist. And then we'll come back up through center. Let's bring the feet to about hips width distance and fold over the legs. Nice deep bend in the knees. We'll keep the left hand planted, spin the right arm open, bend deeply into your left knee, and then wrap the right arm around. Find your left hip crease. So we're stretching, rotating, twisting the upper back, and then we'll switch sides. So right hand comes down, left arm twists open, bend deeply into the right knee, wrap that left arm around, find your right hip crease. We'll be here for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come back. We'll transition to downward dog and simply alternate between this nice big downward dog and then let the knees touch down, extend the spine, and cow pose. As you exhale around, find downward dog and knees come down, cow pose, stretch the spine. So just finding that fluid pattern up and back and then slowly touching down. We'll come into downward dog one last time and then let the knees lower. Find puppy pose. Walk your hands out in front. Let the crown of your head melt towards the ground. From here, take your elbows to the mat. Bend the elbows, reach the hands toward the shoulder blades. So you get this nice deep tricep stretch. Backs of the arms, the armpits, maybe even a little bit of shoulder stretch there. And then we'll slowly start to unfold, coming out of puppy. Come into your kneeling position, and we'll find our eagle arms. So we find this nice eagle arm position and circle the neck around and side to side. So we're just stretching the shoulders, releasing any tension that you might have in the neck or the jaw after upper body work. A lot of times, depending on the grip and the nature of your workout, you might carry some tension after upper body work here. So just side to side and all the way around. Then we'll switch the cross of the arms. So take the other arm underneath and again, circle the neck. You might even take it back slightly and around. And then move it side to side. Just explore full range of motion in the cervical spine. looking for any points that get a little bit stuck, and just breathing, flowing through there so that you aren't carrying any tension off your mat with you. And you can release your arms from here. We'll take one hand to the same side heel and reach the opposite arm overhead. And just a little modified camel here. So we're stretching the front side of the body, finding a little bit of space in the shoulders, a little bit of a back bend. Using your heels for support. You can even come onto the toes if you're finding it a little bit hard to reach the heels. Last one like this, and slowly transition. We're going to come on to a seat now, taking your feet out in front. So we're lifting the hips up into upward table and coming back down. You can even start to reach one arm up and come back down, switching sides. Reach, stretch the chest and come back down. Or you can keep both hands down to press up and back down. Lift the hips here and slowly lower. Now we'll come into our shoulder rack position. So that should feel really good after any shoulder work, any strength work there. So you can straighten the legs all the way and then just walk the hands behind you. Try not to shrug or dip the shoulders forward. Keep them nice and spacious. Breathe to expand the chest, broaden and open the front side of the body. And we'll slowly walk the hands in, give your knees a bit of a hug to stretch the upper back, really round the spine here, chin to chest, maybe bring your forehead toward your knees. And then we'll slowly transition, bring your hands out in front, roll up bone by bone, all the way to standing, nice and slow. Let's enjoy a huge breath in together. Inhale and sigh it out, exhale. That completes your upper body strength work for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this workout, for being here, and for letting your body be moved.